Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark,
I'm Francesca.
and we're here from Black Cat Publishing to talk about Black Cat Chronicles. The latest issue of our newest title is on Kickstarter right now. And it's been a minute since we talked to you folks, so we thought we'd reconnect with the audience and get you all excited for the third issue of our new title. Francesca Maria, writer of The Weird, writer of all three issues, issue one, issue two, that we'll talk about in just a minute. Uh, so, Francie, why don't you catch us up a little bit? Tell us a little bit about Black Cat Publishing, about Black Cat Chronicles.
Sure, love to. As I figure out the interwebs here, I've got two different screens going. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Black Cat Chronicles. Truth is scarier than fiction. It's our foray into comic publishing after being retailers for 19 plus years. We're on the third issue right now, which is Invasion Antarctica. Woo, Invasion Antarctica. So lots of creepy, weird stuff has taken place in Antarctica, from secret military missions by the Nazis, the Brits, and our own government during, before, and after World War II, to just all around strange stuff that happens in Antarctica. So
and is still happening.
Still happening.
All kinds of news reports just today about microplastics. Not too long ago about the crazy bacteria they pull from the ice. One of the most mysterious places on Earth.
And coldest.
And harshest. Yet it's a desert. There are places in Antarctica where it hasn't rained or snowed in a million years.
Is that true?
That is true. Creepy crawly place, which makes it the perfect location for an issue of Black Cat Chronicles. For those of you that many of you already know, many of you have already participated in the previous Kickstarters and participated in the latest for the third issue. For those of you that don't know, issue number one was about Greyfriars Cemetery, creepy cool place in Scotland. Issue two, Alaska's Port Chatham, another one of the creepiest places in the world. Researching this issue kind of scared me away from Alaska, to be honest with you. And as she said, the third issue out on Kickstarter right now. Good stuff. So why Black Cats? Why Black Cats? Why True Tales?
Well, Black Cats are awesome. Just, stating the obvious there. So we were originally Black Cat Comics, right? And so we named our comic book store after our beloved cat, Agnes, who is a black cat of 19 years. And she basically just ruled the house, and it was her home, and we were her caretakers. So she was the queen of all things. She was an amazing cat, super snuggly, playful like a dog, very, very smart. And we loved her to death. And so we wanted to honor her by naming our store after her, which we did, Black Cat Comics. And so Black Cat Publishing was just kind of a natural progression from there. And there's something about black cats. They're just even more mysterious and even cooler than non-black cats. They're a little more aloof, they seem a little smarter. We've had other kinds of cats. And black cats are just something about a black cat that just, I don't find them scary at all. I just find them really, really smart, and sometimes a little insidious, and very demanding as well.
They sort of exude mystery in their own way, which made them a great narrator for our creepy crawly tales.
Yes.
Which kind of brings us to issue number three. So why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit about the Kickstarter program, how the tiers work? And
Sure. I would be happy to. This thing keeps popping up over here. So Kickstarter, for those of you that might not know, is a crowdfunding platform. It allows folks like us that don't have reams and reams of money to ask for support. It's almost like a pre-order. So if we get enough pre-orders for the comic, then we have enough money to actually produce it. And so we're on our third Kickstarter right now. And as of a couple hours ago, we were only $100 shy of meeting our goal, which is great. And there's different tiers that you can purchase. So if you're international or money's kind of tight, you can do the Ether package, which is $2, and that gets you the PDF version of the comic once it's produced. And then there's other tiers going into the Shadow package, the Black Cat package, and the Smoke package, which gets you, the physical copy, bookmarks, stickers, and then if you get higher tier, you get a print, and you get live interactions like this. And if you get the Black Cat, which is the top tier, you get all the above, plus you get an hour psychic reading with me, so I can do your cards for you and have some fun. Plus you get a polished PDF of all the research notes that went into the issue as well.
And there you go. I just sort of wanted to hear you talk about the Ether and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there real quick. This is an interactive forum, so throw us your questions, comments, queries about Black Cat Publishing, about Black Cat Chronicles, about what we're up to, and we're happy to answer those questions spoiler free to the best of our ability. Yes. So on that Kickstarter page, we put up a couple of things, just a couple of teasers, so you can get an idea for the art, get an idea of what the book's about. So wanted to give you you guys a little bit of background on that sort of thing, and wet your whistle for the book, because as we said, Antarctica, like all the locations that we do for Black Cat Chronicles, is a really super creepy place where things happen only there and nowhere else in the world. Like this creepy wait for it. This creepy spider thing, spindly spider thing that you find in the deep waters, but only in Antarctica is it as big as a dinner plate. So imagine like being underwater, freezing cold, and this thing, just kind of spindly spider, just kind of floats over towards you. Pass. No one likes spiders.
We also
show you that cool splash page while you go into some of the other things.
We also have this really weird phenomenon called Blood River Falls. So there's something about within the actual ice itself, there's a lot of high salt content and a lot of high iron. So once it hits oxygen, because it's been in the depths for so long, once it finally comes to air, it turns into this blood red color. And I wanted to show this to you because I want to give you a sense of like how we go from pulling the research to actually making the comic, as realistic as possible. So if you take a look at this was actually a reference photo that I gave to our artist, ever talented Nate Olson. And so this is what he came up with as a result. See the bottom panel here, very similar to how he actually drew it. And same thing here with the volcanoes. So there's a lot of under ice volcanoes in Antarctica. And so here's the reference photo for that. See kind of a stack, like a chimney stack, steam coming out. And then here is actually how he translated it. Pretty realistic. Voila. So whenever possible, we try to use, real reference material. We try to make it as realistic as possible because, again, as our tagline says, truth is scarier than fiction. We don't need to make anything up.
And we're just huge fans of Nate's art. We're huge fans of working with Nate. Of course, it's a visual medium. Sitting here with Francesca, the writer, and anytime I love to talk about the story content and why one reads the book. But we always like to put some emphasis on Mr. Nate Olson and the amazing work that he does. We were out in Denver at StokerCon, one of America's great horror conventions, and talking up the first two issues of our book and getting everybody ready for the launch of the Kickstarter. And we got some really great feedback on Nate's work on the nature of the stories.
We did.
Quite honestly, a lot of people were interested because they like cats, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
And so, like I say, just wanted to take a bit of this opportunity. As we mentioned, as part of the tiered program, we will also be doing a video dedicated just specifically to issue number 3. We're going to deep dive into that issue and talk more about coming up with the story synopsis and the art and all that sort of thing. But that's a story for another day. Today, we wanted to be a little more broad. Again, welcome everybody to Black Cat Chronicles, Black Cat Publishing. Welcome everybody back to Black Cat Publishing, and let you know what we've got going on and what you might be looking forward to. So real quick, again, still available on the website, black-cat-publishing.com. This is issue 1, and you can find posters, prints, stickers, bookmarks for issue 1. Let me show you a non-spoilerific splash page. And issue 2, Alaska's Port Chatham. Alaska's Port Chatham again. Show you some of that cool Nate Olson splash page art. Someone at the Stoker Con said something about us that I never thought about. I took it as a really, really great compliment. He said it was sort of like Classics Illustrated, the way that we produce the book and get the stories out there. And like I say, I thought
praise indeed.
That is high praise indeed. Everybody likes a good issue of Classics Illustrated. And I dare say, I'm almost hesitant to say we've got lots of incredible comparisons to artists like Bernie Wrightson and lots of people stopped cold in their tracks to look at those prints. So if you haven't seen issue 1 and 2, pick those up before 3 comes out. If you haven't gone to Kickstarter yet, get over there and pick up your forthcoming issue number 3. The Kickstarter is live until the end of June. And if you have gone there already, thank you for your support and your contribution. And tell a friend, tell a family member, tell your arch enemy, because Black Cat Chronicles is a little bit for everybody.
Did you tell folks what SoCon was? Did you give them a little?
Very briefly, you're probably better at that than I am. I told them it was one of America's great horror conventions.
It's true. It's true. It's put on by the Horror Writers Association. So it's mainly horror writers that attend, and anyone from the names of Steve Rasnick-Tem to Stephen King's been there before, Anne Rice's been there before, Joe Hill is a previous winner. They do award ceremonies on Saturday nights, much like Comic-Con, and they give away Bram Stoker awards for things like best graphic novels, best short stories, best first anthologies, et cetera, et cetera. And in fact, we were nominated for a Bram Stoker Award for Greyfriars Cemetery. Woohoo! However, we didn't qualify because we're not a graphic novel. It's a comic. But whoever nominated us, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to go over here because it looks like the comments aren't working over here. So I'm going to look over here.
Which brings up something, an important point. Some of the folks have been asking, so what's next? We don't even have issue 3 out, and they're like, well, what's coming next? And of course, there will be more issues forthcoming. But since you mentioned the graphic novel, we do want to eventually collect all of our issues. So issue 3, again, is on Kickstarter right now, and we'll get that out to you guys. Issues, we want to do 4, 5, 6, and then get a collected edition, a really cool collected edition going for you.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for that. Keep up with us on our Facebook page with the newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already. Always lots of good fun information going on in there.
We're doing a lot of fun stuff. Lots of fun things.
And other things, what's next for Black Cat Publishing? What do we have? So right now we're doing Truth is Scarier Than Fiction. That's what Black Cat Chronicles is all about. Of course,
horror tales.
We're going to keep Black Cat Chronicles coming at you. Then we want to get going on Black Cat Tales, which will be fictional tales of terror. And that's a whole lot of fun because, everybody wants more scares and frights in their life. Down the road, it scratches at the back of my mind. I'd like to do a science fiction version and get some sort of Twilight Zone-y thing going. I think that would be fun. Cool genre fusion kind of title. And then maybe even dabbling into what I call graphic-less novels.
What?
Books with just
Without
words.
pictures?
Maybe some books without
That's
pictures.
crazy.
Maybe short story anthologies.
Crazy talk.
Or something cool, because Francesca, writer of the weird here, can do just about anything. That's what's coming up from Black Cat. What's coming back from Francesca Maria?
Well, let's see. I have something I can't talk about yet. Hopefully soon I'll be announcing something really fun.
Tell them about, you go on, it's time to brag,
What?
award-winning
Oh.
Francesca Maria.
So I entered this monthly flash fiction short story contest, which is short stories of horror that are up to 1,500 words or less, through this publisher called Crystal Lake Publishing. So you check them out. They've got amazing stuff. And so last month, my short story on a creepy motel called Motel 8 won first place. So that was fun.
And where will they be able to find that?
You can find that on their Patreon page. So if you go to crystallakepub.com and become a Patreon member, you can read that. And hopefully at some point, it might be collected in one of their Shallow Waters anthologies coming out probably in the next year or two.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yay. Fun times. I also have an essay coming out in another anthology coming out in October called Death's Garden Revisited. It is a true story of myself and my dad in a cemetery. So look forward to that coming in right around time for Halloween. Oh, you know what's cool about that?
What's cool about that? The
book signing and the book launch is going to be in an actual cemetery.
Wow. Nothing creepier than actual cemeteries.
So rad. Cannot wait.
Best place for any horror activity.
Cannot wait.
What else can we tell the fine folks about Black Cat Publishing and Black Cat Chronicles?
Well, we can talk about what we've been, secretly plotting and planning about that kind of anthology. So he mentioned the graphic-less novel. So we are doing some research, looking into the feasibility of doing a Black Cat anthology. What that would be is short stories in and around and involving black cats. So they don't have to be horror. They could be sci-fi. They could be horror, of course, is always preferred. But we're thinking through that right now and thinking through the details. But hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to put the nail in the coffin and put something together for that. So we'd be open to submissions. So if you are a burgeoning writer and would like to try your hand at a little tale or two, we'll probably do poetry and prose. So more on that to come. Good
fun. All kinds of things in the hopper, because it has been a real interesting endeavor to shift from retail into publishing, from selling comics to producing and selling comics. But it's been a whole lot of fun. Being out at StokerCon was really great. Being back among actual people at conventions for the first time in a long time and talking up our book was a lot of fun. We look forward to getting back to more shows out here in California, of course, like the good old classic toy show or some of the other bigger conventions to get our book out there, because we're really excited about the issues that we have, the issues that we've got coming out. Want to hear from you guys a little bit. Want to hear about maybe some ideas you have for Black Cat Chronicles, locations, people, or events, what you might want to see from the Chronicles or from Black Cat Publishing.
Albert, he's got a black cat that wears a suit. So Albert, I'd love to hear a story written about your black cat who wears a suit. That sounds amazing.
There you go. Post a picture of that cat in a suit in the comments.
That would be awesome sauce. I have to say, doing conventions as a publisher is so much easier than as a retailer. As retailers, we had to pack half the store, break our backs, burn the midnight oil, setting up, breaking down. And as a publisher, we just have, a handful of items, put it in a suitcase, takes 5 minutes to set up, 5 minutes to break down. I much prefer this side of the table.
I really enjoy anybody that ever spent 5 minutes in our store or 5 minutes at our convention table knew I couldn't shut up about superhero comics and the great stuff that we carried and the great stuff that was there to talk about. And I love talking up the artists and the comics, all that kind of thing. But I have to say that it is even more fun to talk up something that you have a personal vested interest in. I mean, a personal vested, like, artistic input in, I guess is a better way to put it. As I say, I'm really proud of the work that we're producing. And so talking up your stories, talking up Nate's art, having a physical product that you've put some effort into is a lot of fun and is, I don't know quite how to explain it. Again, I really enjoyed all our time with the Marvels and the DCs and all that good stuff. But something about working with something that you've helped create is really extra special and has been a lot of fun.
It is.
And
we're
again,
hawking our own wares instead of somebody else's.
Yep. And that makes the physical effort just a little bit easier, makes the days a little bit go by a little bit faster. And you know, we also get an opportunity for a broader audience in that, yes, it's still a comic book, but it's a horror comic, and it really has it's something different from kind of the mainstream stuff out there. And so it certainly at a place like StokerCon allows you to interact with a whole kind of new audience and different audience, and that's been a lot of fun too.
I just love that the narrator is a black cat, and that's like the continuity across the issues, because each issue is a standalone story, self-contained. You don't have to read, the first one in order to get what's going on in the second one. But the one point of consistency is that each chronicle is narrated by a black cat, and the black cat's not really a real black cat. He's a little ethereal, he's a little mysterious, he's a little ancient, and he's very much aloof. He's the black cat who really doesn't care about us humans too much. He thinks we're kind of dumb. Look what we've done to ourselves in history across time. And he's almost there to kind of showcase different points in our history that, maybe we could have done a little bit better here.
I just had to. This is from our first issue. Bit of a spoiler, I guess, because this is kind of a splash page, but it's also one of the prints that you can order. And if I have my way, it will be a T-shirt that you can proudly sport very soon.
T-shirts.
Just another great example of that aloof cat and some of that amazing Nate Olson
show the
art.
Other splash page.
Okay, let's.
This one. This is a hot ticket at StokerCon.
This was a hot ticket at StokerCon, and to be honest, that's where we got the idea for the shirts, because people were asking me, and I was like, "Yeah, why don't we have shirts of this?"
Ooh, Albert, it's the Watcher. If the Watcher was a cat, exactly. Albert, you get me. You get me.
It is sort of, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
And that's very solid. What else can we say about the Chronicles other than stay tuned for that issue 3? Everybody was asking about this great cover, and well, let me show you the comic book size. On the back of issue 2, we showed you the forthcoming cover. And if you're wondering, what were the Nazis doing in Antarctica? Well, you got to read the book to find out.
You know what I realized in working on the promotional materials and such, given that there's a big Nazi flag on the cover, I actually had to fight for printers to print it. They thought it was Nazi propaganda. I'm like, no. Furthest thing from the truth. This is just a historical reference point. There's actual photos of Nazi flags flying in Antarctica during World War II. But it was interesting. I had never thought of it. Like certain ads on Facebook and things, I can't promote it like I'd like because of the fact that there's a Nazi flag on the front.
And yes, we're certainly not endorsing anything related to Nazism. Merely making a good comic book cover, and again, truth is scarier than fiction.
That's right.
Nothing scarier than the Nazis and anything that those guys were up to.
That's right. Lots of twists and turns in this issue. Lots of just scratching your head. What were they thinking in this issue? I don't want to say too much, but it's very back and forth and kind of confusing and circular, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, which is kind of right in our wheelhouse. Like the strange, the weird, the unusual. This one's full of those.
We love things that start with a core of truth and just sort of radiate mystery.
Yeah.
It's not exactly conspiracy theorist stuff. It's just sort of looking at something incredibly bizarre and wondering why and how and what and all the good things. One of the things that I found most fascinating about Antarctica, particularly in our research for all this, it's been a giant mystery for a long time. People have been wondering for 1,000 years, what's under all that ice? What goes on there? And there's all sorts of mystery and great things that go on in Antarctica. So you guys will have a lot of fun reading.
Hi, Milton.
Hi, Milton. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
And what's weird is lots of similarities, that like the paranormal stuff that happens in Antarctica. Again, I'm not saying too much, but a lot of the paranormal stuff is very similar to what we discovered when we were researching the Alaska Port Chatham issue number 2. So lots of creepy, weird stuff that I don't want to give away too much that's similar. And I wonder if it's because of the remoteness of it, or because of they're both really cold, frigid places, a combination, less inhabited. But there's some interesting similarities between the Alaska issue and this one.
Remote might have something to do with it. The lack of people might have something to do with it. Great stuff. And again, that's what we're all about at the Chronicles. If you like the true crime stuff that everybody's streaming these days, cryptids, aliens, our issues, have it all in there.
That's right.
So again, check out 1 and 2 if you haven't. Be on the lookout for this issue 3. No, don't want to say what we've got in store for future issues, because we're still leaving that up to you. And again, thanks for all your support. To be 200% honest, the purpose of this video is going to be a big push for the Kickstarter. You've heard me say Kickstarter 1,000 times as it is. But as she said at the top of the show, we've almost hit our goal, which is really great. We super appreciate all that support. But don't let that hold you back. Feel free, go to Kickstarter, get your reserve your issue, pick up your package, get some prints, the stickers, the bookmarks, all that good stuff. We would, of course, love to exceed our goal so we can hit those stretch goals of some cool cover stock or a bonus story or some of those other things, help out with some general operational expense. So again, thank you so much for your support. We're like 1 minute from our goal, and we'd really love to considerably exceed that and keep bringing you guys some great issues of True Tales of Terror.
And we're always open for your ideas. So if there's a true creepy kind of paranormal bent story that you want us to investigate, shoot us an email at info@black-cat-comics.com. We're always open to exploring new things, but not something that's completely known, like not Jack the Ripper or the Salem witch trials. It's got to be something that's kind of remote that not a lot of people know about.
We like to dig deep and bring some attention to things that not everybody has seen before.
Yeah.
And if you like, again, we like creepy locales. We like places, unique places on Earth. If you grew up in one of those creepy places, or if you know something about one of those unique creepy places in the world, we'd love to hear the story. Post something, comment to these videos or something on our Facebook page. If you're like me, I grew up in rural Pennsylvania, where it's nothing but cryptids and creepy people and serial killers. No offense to where I grew up, but like I say, a lot of folks have know of those strange places, and we're looking for those tales.
That's right. Bring it on. The creepier, the weirder, the stranger, the better. Love it.
Fun.
Yep.
Over there, over here. Good to see you guys. Well, I guess that about wraps us up. Again, go to black-cat-publishing.com, read all about us, and take a look at our first and second issues of those covers. And get over to Kickstarter.com, find Black Cat Publishing, And where's the cover? Pick up, sign up to get your third issue, Invasion Antarctica.
Dun, dun, dun.
Kickstarter runs till June, and then we should have the book in your hands. Oh,
In time for Halloween.
just in time for Halloween. Again, keep up with the social medias, sign up for our newsletter, stay in touch. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you guys again.
Bye.